Hello everybody, welcome to this video. This is the second time doing this one, not gonna hide that. The other one got up to 20 minutes. I think maybe that's what I'll do for these videos is do one going over generally what I want to do, like a test run, and then do one for real. So this is the definitive Dave Mustaine, how to solo like Dave Mustaine guide video thing. Really impressive title there. So what we have here is how to solo like Dave Mustaine of Megadeth. He is one of my biggest influences, and I think that his playing is badass. And I'm going to show some typical licks that you'll find him play, and I guess go over some technique tips, ideas, things of that nature. This is probably going to be a long video. I should have kept the other one, but we're here now. So here we go. To preface, I am not tuned to standard. I'm tuned slightly flat, just as Dave would be when using this guitar in the early days. I even got the Bill Lawrence in the neck here for that one solo in Last Rites. I'll go over that in a future video, I guess, if people want to see that. I can do pretty much any of the Dave solos off the first two records, and some of the Poland too. His stuff's really difficult though, and I kind of paraphrase a bit. I don't get exactly note for note. For YouTube, I might try. Leave comments if you want that stuff. That'd be interesting. Or any of the stuff here that you want me to go over a little more in depth and thoroughly or differently. Maybe I'll make short form videos. YouTube shorts. Ugh, gag me with a spoon. That shit. You waste your life watching YouTube shorts. Don't do it. Unless you want to watch mine, then please do. If I make any, which I probably won't. Anyways, all that aside, here is how to solo like Dave Mustaine. We're going to start off with basic foundations. You need to know the pentatonic box. That's it, an E minor, starting on 12. And I'm going to play it slow, and I'm not going to give you the tabs. I'm going to go, first you go, use your ears. You can slow down YouTube videos. This isn't a very, I'm not going to baby you. If you come to play metal, you know that you need good chops, and you need to develop your ear. So just, I won't hold your hand, but I'm not going to run away from you, if that makes any sense. Here we go. And backwards. Just look at my fingers. This is fret 12. Get the cloud inlays on this guitar. It's pretty interesting. So that's your skeleton. And if you want to be above and beyond, throw in the blue note and make it the blues scale. So now you got 3 notes on this string here. And you can put it here or here. It appears same pitch, same exact note, 2 different places. I'll do the other one going backward. All right. Now that we have that settled, those are the 2 scales if you were, I guess, Kirk Whammett. If you were Kirk, you would play through those scales. And nothing wrong with that. But you clicked on this video because this is the Dave Mustaine way of soloing. So I'm going to add notes along to this scale. This is your skeleton. I think, let me preface, if you are a beginner guitar player and you really like Dave Mustaine, learn some pentatonic basic licks and mostly learn Kirk Hammett licks before you try Dave Mustaine stuff. Because Dave is a totally different animal. It's very weird and it's very difficult to get a hold of his stuff. I'm not ashamed to say it. One of the first licks I learned was a kind of Kirk Hammett-y lick. I forget. I think it was in Hit the Lights, the intro solo, like the, you know, but I had to really work hard for that for like 2-3 weeks. It sucked, but anyways, we're going to add notes here. So let me get this, I guess, in the best way I can. We're starting off with just the regular, looks like the blues scale. But you're going to take this note on the 13th fret, you know, they usually do, right? You're going to do the same exact shape again here. So that's already different. Then you do the blues scale up here, as you would. And then you're going to repeat that shape like this. You're never going to hover on this note. If you end a lick on that note, you sound really cool. It's a badass bluesy thing to do. Dave does not do that. All of these notes that I'm showing you that aren't the blue note, anything from the blues scale, this note and this note, you're never going to stick on these and just stay on them. They're just to breeze by, because Dave likes to go through the scale at lightning speed. Anyways. And then we're going to be up here, because Dave likes to extend the scale. And that leads me into the first actual lick that I'm going to show you, that I think probably you've heard in tons of his solos and probably seen other videos, I guess, breaking this down. But to kind of be cultured, you kind of have to show this one off, because this is the patented Dave Mustaine lick. Here we go. I'm going to do it fast first. Pretty nice tone I got going, huh? Anyways, so this lick involves pull-offs and an interesting picking pattern that you're going to need to develop. Any of these licks you can pick or play any number of ways. I should say that you have freedom as a guitar player to play however you want, but it's important that when you are learning a lick, you come up with a battle plan. You kind of like Napoleon it, you know, you I don't know, some other historical figure, you Alexander the Great it, you plan it out, you George Washington it, you do something to plan out how the hell am I going to play this thing in the most efficient way possible that I know I can do. So for me, playing this lick, I can do it a bunch of different ways depending on which of my hands is more tired if I'm playing. I'm going to give you the way that I think you should do it to start off. And I guess a way to build up to this lick before I show you it in its entirety if you're a basic kind of beginner. For one, if you want to really get your hand speed and strength up, if you're a weak little baby when it comes to these fingers, just do this. And do this with all fingers, actually, if you can. Do that, trills on all frets. It's boring as hell. You're going to hate it, but there's nothing that will develop your finger strength quicker, but it doesn't sound very musical, so you'll get bored of it quickly and then quit doing it, and then you'll complain, why can't I shred? It's because you didn't stick to a boring routine. Because you got like TikTok brain disease where you have a short attention span, you can't focus. Anyways, so do this to get yourself accustomed to the speed of this movement. Hammer on, pull off, hammer on, pull off. A trill, if you do it fast, is the musical term. And some tips for doing this, I guess, is you can pick the first note to start yourself off. Or starting whichever, it doesn't really matter. You're doing the same motion anyways. But the motion, you should realize, is not just straight up and straight down. You're kind of pulling the string downward, kind of that way, as you're coming off of it to give it a little flick, as if you're kind of, same principle with tapping, which I guess I'll go over in a minute with another Dave lick. Anyways, so you're going to do this until you're really good at it, and then you're going to think, oh my god, I'm ready. Do it with your pinky on this fret now. That's not easy. Some people get cramped. That's not easy really too much for me, but right. And you can start by just playing these as licks themselves. You're going to sound like a beginner, but this lick isn't too bad, actually. Anyways, once you're ready with that, practice doing the transition from this string to this string. The way you can do this is either... I'm not picking any of this, by the way. I'm just using my hand here to touch these other strings so I don't make them ring out. And I'm using my pointer finger, gently touching this string, so after I hammer here from nowhere and I pick back up, it deadens it. It just gently touches it, little nudges it right there. Anyways, you do this, or you keep it barred and you do this lick across these two strings like that. You do that until you can get it really fast, and then you're ready to start the lick, which is as follows. And it repeats. And you usually end it with a bend up to the E note here. I should probably give you a tip about bending too. Don't bend out of tune. It makes you sound bad. I think Yngwie would hear people bending out of tune all the time. He called them like guitar shop. I think it was the name of the guitar shop and then players he called them, because every time you go in there, you hear somebody bending out of tune. How do you know when you're bending in tune? Well, don't bend just for the sake of bending. Bend to reach a note. Here we're bending to reach our root note to finish off the phrase. So play that note and then bend from here until you can get it to sound exactly the same with your bend. All right, that's lick number 1, and we're already halfway the size of the other one. I guess I'm trying to be more thorough with this one. I really want this to be an all-inclusive lesson for all you people. Anyways, lick number 2 after this one is going to be another patented Dave Mustaine lick, which is using the same sort of idea. You're going directly downward. And if you listen to any of the Metallica demos, this lick is everywhere. So you can pick the first note, or you can tremolo pick it. Do whatever the hell you got to do, but it's pretty simple. Do it like that. Hell, if you're not a bad tapper and you hate picking, you can probably get away with tapping it. Do whatever you got to do. All right, and you can carry this one diagonally, not diagonally, horizontally across strings when you get quick enough with it. But be aware that this causes this note to repeat. But this is the start of like the kind of holy wars, you know. Whatever the hell, right? And basically that Holy Wars run is kind of Dave going down that scale I showed you. And maybe going back up and down it a little bit for some pauses here and there. That's basically that whole run, is just Dave showing off his whole toolkit. Anyways, that's lick number 2. Lick number 3 is probably a lick that'll be quite difficult for a lot of you, I think, is, I call that the mechanics lick, but it's kind of in a bunch of other songs, really. It's kind of just a blues lick, but I don't know. We're giving credit to Dave Mustaine for writing everything, so let's just give him credit for this lick, too. Dave invented this lick. You heard it here first. So, what is this lick? It is kind of like your first introduction to sweeping, I guess. You're really just doing 2 up picks after a down pick on the top 3 strings. Down, up, up. And then you need to get back down to this top note to repeat this lick. And it goes as follows. And you're bending this note up with 1 string, probably up to around that pitch. Something like that. But the bend doesn't really matter because you're not going to stay there. So just bend it up as much as you can and then start it over. That lick is not easy for a lot of people because once they do it once, getting back up there in time is very difficult. So I'm going to give you a little pointer on how you should do that. It's about the angle at which you are holding your pick, rotationally speaking, like so. You want to basically have your pick at this sort of angle here. It's very difficult for me to demonstrate this because I'm recording from a laptop here. I can't exactly like grab the camera and show you. But you want to have, I guess, sort of this type of curvature going on here. I'm exaggerating it a lot, but you kind of want the pick to be diagonally kind of like this, you know, kind of like that. And when you're picking, you're doing a down, up, pull off, up. Well, when you start, I guess you're kind of neutral to pick in between these 2 strings. Down, up on the A, the E and the B. When you get to the G, you're going to pick out and up. You're going to kind of go diagonally up, like towards your shoulder or something, or towards your face. And that's so when you're picked out here and you're bending, you can diagonally go down and hit the high E. Or you could cheat and only pick the first and fourth note that gets played. You can just get a forward if you have good finger strength and coordination and muting technique with your left and right hand. You can only pick the top note and not worry about it. Look, I'm only going to downstroke the top note. Watch. So you can do that. And you only have to pick twice. You only have to get good at... That would be, honestly, way easier. I don't know, pick and choose. Learn to do both. I would recommend that, but if you don't want to learn how to do it one way, do it the other way. Whichever way gets you into doing it, I guess. That was lick number 3. That looks fun. I'm going to go back to number 1 really quick just to demonstrate that you can take any of these kind of ideas and bring them anywhere within this Dave Mustaine shape. So this lick I showed you at the start, you can do it down here. It's with a different set of strings, of course, but he does it like that too. And when you do it up here, you can do it with this blue note here. And this is another point I wanted to bring up, I guess. I'm probably going to make a different video about this topic entirely, but you can choose whatever fingers you want. It doesn't necessarily matter. Like if I'm doing this lick, Dave likes to do it where he has this pointer finger kind of diagonal, giving him more reach to do it like this. Dave doesn't like to use his pinky. But you can do it with the pinky if you want to, or not. So any of these licks you do it whichever way feels comfortable to you. Even if you do it like this, you can probably go up like that. That's cool. I'm getting off track. Anyways, if you bring it down, when you're presented with this idea, you could move this finger. You could use your pinky. You could use these 2 fingers. If you're desperate, you can even... If you get in a car accident and you lose these 2 fingers, you can still play like Dave. You just have to go down here, I guess, for that note. But you can play like Dave, probably if you only got 1 finger. No, probably not. Well, actually, yeah, maybe. You could do it with like 1 pointer finger. You could probably do something like that. There's probably somebody out there who's going to be like, I accept the challenge and learn a Dave Mustaine solo just with this finger and this finger doing these taps. Anyways, what was I saying? Right. So you have a choice with your fingers which ones you choose to use. So really, that's what the pentatonic scale is good for. You can kind of do any... Not even using... You can do like the metal, like, what's up, dudes? But do it while playing. That's not easy. Ew. Show off, party tricks. That's all I'm showing you right now. I'm sorry. Back to Dave Mustaine. What else do we got? I guess his patented runs. Kirk Hammett's runs are a lot more simple, I guess. You can find many videos of people showing Kirk Hammett licks. And Kirk sometimes uses this Dave lick, but he stays in one spot and just doubles it up instead of going up. But when Dave ascends and descends the pentatonic scale, again, I recommend listening to the Metallica demos. He just goes through all the notes as quickly and as weirdly as possible. It's kind of very haphazard. So you can basically get away with playing any of the notes from any of the stuff I've shown. You know, you can get away with any of the sloppy, I guess, but Dave wasn't exactly the cleanest player. But you can play any of these notes. That's the Dave scale. Just take it through wherever it takes you. I guess I'm going to show you some maneuvers that he would do within this framework if you're being a speed demon. I'll slow some of these parts that I commonly do to sound sort of like him. That's a lick I think is pretty important. What is that? Shit, what is that? Let's find out. It's this. Basically that. Going down chromatically, and then pick, pull off, pick, down, up. That's another one he does a lot. Going, and he doesn't pick a lot of these notes. You could probably get away with down, hammer, up, down. Do that a lot. He loves to do that. So those are the ideas. I'm not picking most of those notes probably. I'm probably missing with the right hand quite a lot. But my left hand is good enough to carry me through. So get this before you really get this. What else? When he's low on the neck, like let's give an example. The starting lick in the Devil's Island solo. That's kind of a thing he does. I guess I'll break that segment down. At least what I think it is. I'm just paraphrasing. Something like that. But he starts up with this double stop here. Those two notes played at the same time. And then like a pinch harmonic bend on this note here, on this string. You should be able to see it, hopefully. And then he goes up to the harmonic here. No, the double stop here. And this. I should probably show that up here, actually. You can do that anywhere. I don't think Dave does that a lot, but you can do that. I guess those are the only two spots you can really do it here. And maybe here with these two. Or bending these two notes. Well, what else can I show? There are other soloing ideas that Dave Mustaine has, licks, that I think are a little more advanced and a little more difficult. In his first album stuff, he does a lot of stuff within harmonic minor, which, if you don't know, it's basically the Yngwie Malmsteen. Ah, that's sloppy as hell. Hold on. Like diminished sounding, spooky, you know. Dave does that, does those diminished things. I guess we'll go over those real quick before I go over the other stuff. Like the intro to Skull Beneath the Skin. He starts off with this pattern here. I'm going to ask you to use your ears to cross all three strings. Right? Yeah? And then the pinky right here. Doing that really quick. And it's a sweep with the right hand. Down, 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 up, pull off, up. And And that's how he goes all the way up. You know, you keep going up that way. Or if you're really badass, you could probably do it with this switch here where you switch this finger. That's neither here nor there. And I guess let's do 2 more. You get 2 more, and then I'll, you know, this is a 25-minute video. This is like a master class. You should be thanking me. You should be paying me like $10 on Patreon or something. No, you shouldn't. This is slop. So, Devil's Island, the intro. Minor triads, tapped downwards 4 times, switch across strings, taken down chromatically. Yeah? Right? That's not a hard lick to do. I'll do another video on tapping in general, maybe, as a concept, if it's requested. Or if I'm just bored. I'll probably put one out soon, maybe even same day, who knows. So that's that. What's another good one, I guess? Well, this is a concept in here that I think I should elaborate on really quickly. Dave can take things chromatically downwards, or upwards, as you saw here, for fun. Do that with any of these licks. Well, that's ended kind of majory. Hold on, I'll try something else. That ending was weird. But he kind of does symmetrical scale stuff too. Maybe I'll show off the quicksand solo. Any of you true metalheads know that. Little piece of tidbit, that little lore. Maybe I'll do that. But yeah, you can take any of these licks and usually end it on an E somewhere. Or slide back up in a scale or something. Do something, a pick slide. To give yourself some time to think is what a lot of these licks can do. Like if you're soloing and you're like, oh, I'm running out of ideas, just do this and let your hands go on autopilot while your brain thinks of something good. And then do that good thing you're thinking of. Last one. This is going to be the that one segment in My Last Words. You know the one where it's all right, this is integral. This is kind of an inside picking thing with pull-offs. You're going to be barring across with your first finger on 12 on the A string. And you're going to be following these frets. Right here, you see these? These notes. And that's the pattern. Down, pull off, up, down, pull off, up. And you're going to switch between these notes. I'm going to do that one more time. And now you're going to switch. The low note on the A goes up to here. And you should be able to use these fingers now. Yeah. And then, yeah, this. Is it? Or am I silly? Yeah. But you need to keep this. Here we go. Sorry. You got to keep this note for the pull-off. And then you can do it again here. It'll get a little cramped. And if you don't want a bar, you don't have to. You can make it hard on yourself. Probably not for this first one, but for this other one, you sure can. And then this one. Right? And just because I can, the next part of that, he does that lick I showed you at the beginning up here. That going down the scale. But he does it here. Going in. Like that. Going down 3. And then goes up his thing. Maybe I'll do a video covering that solo later, showing it off. So yeah, those are some Dave Mustaine ideas and Dave Mustaine licks, rather he uses in a bunch of solos or just from particular solos. If you would like more, probably in a shorter video, this is half an hour. I'm sorry to subject you to me for half an hour, but I hope it was worth it, and I hope you have a lot of stuff to work on. Maybe I should segment this video using a little YouTube segmenter thing, or maybe I'll do shorts of each of the licks. Who knows? Who cares? Whatever. But I hope you enjoyed, and continue to play metal, do what you do, have fun, etc., etc.